You started in masonry, you did that for a long time. What made you shift to hardscapes?
Um, Specifically, I remember it was a job that I did for a friend of mine, and I fell in love with just doing the paver side of things. And it was years ago. I love the freedom. Like when I was a mason, I usually didn't have the chance to design anything, and I love that part. They just give me a set of plans and just build this foundation, or just put this wall here, or just do this veneer stone on this. So it wasn't like very. I was proud of what I did, but it wasn't. I didn't have the freedom to do anything. So when I did this job for this friend of mine, he was like, "I bought these pavers. I got this backyard. Let's do something." And so I went and started doing stuff with. I used to have like two guys back then, I think. So we were to start figure it out. I didn't even have pavers, never laid pavers in my life before that. So I started working on it, and I really loved it.
This episode is brought to you by Hardscaper.com. The Hardscaper mission is to empower industry professionals with the skills, inspiration, and confidence they need to take their businesses to new heights. Struggling with training programs for your team? Looking for helpful tips to build a better company? Subscribe today to gain access to hours of interactive on-demand hardscape construction and business courses for free. Check out hardscaper.com. You're listening to Hardscape Growth, a podcast for hungry professionals who want to grow their businesses and level up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex. I'm from TechnoBlock, Alex from TechnoBlock. I'm the host of the Hardscape Growth podcast, so we're going to do a live recording of the podcast now for the next 30 minutes. Today we're joined by the contractor who built the project that Pete and Rick have been talking about all morning, Cesar Vargas from C. Vargas Construction. Welcome to the show, Cesar.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it.
You can have a seat. So we're going to go through a few things here. We're not going to talk much about the project because that's literally what everyone is here watching all day. What we're going to talk about is how you run your business. One of the things that we noticed in meeting you and working with you for the better part of a month this summer was the way that you operate your business is a little different from a lot of other contractors that we come across. One of the biggest differentiators that I noticed is the customer experience and how you treat your customers and what process they go through from the time that they're starting to think about a project to the time that they're actually getting it done to the conclusion. And the big thing that I noticed that seems to be different is you have a very robust office team. And when we were talking about that team, you said it was one of the first things that you built in your company, which is kind of the contrary of a lot of other construction companies. So why did you focus on the office first?
First of all, I mean, most people start, like you said, the other way around, and that's kind of why I start for my first couple of months. And we want to, like you said, differentiate for most of the contractors there and give a little bit extra. So I was like, what would be different for us to, to work on? So it's not like the same. And I hear all over where we live that, oh, I called this contractor and he never returned my call. Now, why is that? Because usually the guy that gets the phone is the same guy that's laying the pavers, that is taking the measurements, that is doing everything, doing the estimating, and also I was like, the way to give a good customer service, have something start actually the other way around, like have somebody that get the phone, got the administrator part done, and we can concentrate on doing the other stuff. Like what I do is not that part, so we hired somebody to start on that. And it helped us to like free us at that time and work more on getting better jobs, like getting the jobs done right with better
Because you're not pulled in a million directions.
Exactly, we are not answering the phone in the middle of like if I have a meeting at 3 p.m. I will be ready. I won't be like getting
running from
those
the job
stuff and then just get. So that was the main thing because obviously the idea behind our company is trying to get better and bigger jobs and more profitable jobs with better customers. So what they're looking for is that customer service, somebody that's there answering the phone calls, answering the questions in time, and it has a presence, like not just the same guy that do everything. They will return your call the next day or probably 2 days after. So that was the main thing. Also, number wise, like having somebody that know the numbers, all the administrative stuff are in order. And once you do that, then you can get your better jobs, and you have your backup behind it. You have a team behind you that help you do that instead of the other way around. You get your big job, your breakthrough job, and you don't have nothing to help you backing it up in order, like if there's any questions, if there's a call, there's an email, problem with suppliers, then you have to manage it all. It's a little bit difficult. So having that team behind you, it's very helpful.
So I have I have 5 key points on what you said. First thing is you want it to be different. What I know is with the way that you answer that question is you tackled the weakness of your competitors. You knew that most of your competitors, the guy who's laying the papers is the guy who's answering the phone, is the guy who's going to see the customer, and you were winning jobs because you were answering the phone and responding to the customers and giving them their bid faster. So that was obviously working for you. So say, okay, I'm going to build out a team that's going to focus on giving that. You're trying to get high-end work. You build beautiful high-end projects. High-end customers expect a high-end experience. So you built out that experience because you already knew you had the construction side under control. You're a mason by trade. You have years of experience with that. So let's worry about the front of the house so that when like in a restaurant, you come into the restaurant, it's a great experience. They're there. The kitchen is under control. So let's focus about the rest of the experience. The numbers are always in order. You're not doing math on the dash of your truck trying to figure it out. And the admin supports the field team. That's the big thing too. There's always problems on the job. That's the beauty of construction. There's always new challenges. The admin team is basically like your master control. Like, oh, we're missing this, they're on it. Oh, we need this, they're getting it. Oh, we need to make an adjustment on the plan, no problem. They're doing it right away. So that's all great stuff. How many people are in the office versus how many are in the field for your company?
Usually we keep 2 girls in the office, my office manager, and we have a bookkeeper, and then my wife works full-time. She's getting a little bit, a little less in time in the office now. We're concentrating on other things, and I also do half of the week in the office. So 3 to 4 people usually.
The biggest trend in outdoor living right now is wellness retreats at home. The calming sound of running water is at the heart of creating that spa-like escape, and with Atlantic Owasso, adding this element is easier than ever. Their professional-grade water feature kits and spillways are simple to install, letting you bring that soothing flow to any project. We've used these products on a few of our Hardscaper Showcase projects, and our clients couldn't be happier with the results. Plus, Atlantic Owasso offers training sessions and contractor rewards to help you grow your expertise and your business. Check out Atlantic-oase.com to learn more and take your projects to the next level.
So what's the job of an office manager in your company?
Well, that's we have office manager, receptionist. That's kind of the same person. So in the future, we might want to add that receptionist just specifically just for answer calls and all of that. But right now, she's the one that does both. So she answers the calls, screen the customers, but also keep the schedule and communicate with the customers and also with our employees. And like you said, that whatever is happening outside the field, like, oh, we need a pallet of this, we need this and that, or we ran on short, or they didn't send us, so take care of all of that stuff. My scheduling with my customers, my scheduling with my designing, all of that stuff, she's taking care of that. So we have a CRM, like if you're familiar with customer relationship manager system on the computer, that she puts all the scheduling there. So I get in the morning and just check my phone and I see what's going on today, where I need to go. If I don't need to go, I just work in what.
Or if you're going
Exactly.
To the job.
If I do have a new customer, what I need to get, where's the address, what are the notes, what I need to. So all of that frees you time for you to concentrate on other things. So that's the main job of that office manager person, to keep you all the stuff that a person I don't like to do, don't want to do. And then also it helps you to concentrate on other things, like go and check the job site, make sure everything is correct, and you don't have to be answering the phone or doing a scheduling or making an order, making POs, all of that stuff.
Well, I noticed a difference because when we were on the project, we had a few hiccups and things, and it was literally you made one phone call. Okay, we need to do this, this, this. Okay, it's taken care of. Your attention was back on, let's figure out what we're going to do about this because the measurements are a little bit off and we're not going to line up with the corner of the house. So what adjustment are we going to do? And the rest is being taken care of by somebody else.
And
now, Yeah, go ahead.
And usually, like, I was on this specific project because I was with you guys, but I'm not there all the time. Like, pretty much, not at all. Sometimes
Normal jobs.
normal
All
jobs,
the
I'm
time,
not
yeah.
there. It's very very few jobs that I spend all my time in there. So I have a foreman or two foremans that do that kind of job. So they don't go through me. So I'm not an intermediary of anything. So if they need something, they go directly to the office, and they're okay. Well, in this case, like you said, I'd make a phone call, put a text to the office, and they send us whatever we need on that specific project we did together. But if it's a regular job, they'll. My foreman was the one who's like, hey, I need a pallet of this. I need 57 stone, like, or whatever, and then does directly. So that it avoids a lot of friction and a lot of like, oh, he told me that, he just told me this, and if I'm in a meeting, I'm not gonna get the call, so he might get the material, delayed because
Delayed.
I
Now the
didn't.
job's held
So
up because of that.
yeah, so all that helps to flow and to everybody is on the same page. The guys also give feedback at the end of the day through that app that we use, and then it gets to the office, and everybody knows what's been done to the day and also what is needed for tomorrow. And I get it, the office get it, but they don't have to text every night or like, oh, we need this or we have done this. So I just the office before she leaves at 4:30 or 5. She sees what the guys have done. I got home, I see what the guys have done. If they need something, it's already taken care of for the next day. So all of that stuff is what helps, having that team behind first, then just everybody in here, I'm sure, knows how to lay pavers. That's why we're here. But the side of business is totally different than just know how to do the pavers and do the.
It sounds. I guess it depends how you relate it, but it sounds expensive. In the sense that, like, you have an office, you have a showroom, you have staff at an office all the time, plus you have the crews that are building stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing to say, like, okay, I see how the admin can help that customer experience. It can also help keep things running smoothly. But at what point was it very clear for you that investment made sense? Because that's not a little bit of money.
It's not a little bit of money, but it's just the time that you save. I don't see the stuff a lot of times with how you're saving money, but how it's saving you time.
Okay.
Because then you can put your stuff or your effort in other stuff, like getting your better customers. Like I spend a lot of time like finding ways to project our business in a way that we get the better customers. And then if I would be on the job site all the time, I wouldn't be able to do that. Or if I were answering the calls, or I would be doing the scheduling or doing the estimating, which I don't do. All of that stuff takes a lot of time for you to concentrate on other stuff. And also, it's just how you want to see it. I mean, for some people it might be expensive. For me, it was more like an investment. Because also, if you go for, like, everybody's going to do the higher end projects, I know that, but that's what our focus. So that was also why we did the investment or the expense in this case, because the customers that we're dealing with, they expect a little bit more from the other companies, the 2 or 3 other bids. If you always answer your call, if you always have an answer for them, you talk to them on a daily basis. Oh, the guy's not there today, or they're going this, or we're expecting this delivery. They know everything what's going on their project. Plus, also they have a portal on our CRM that they can access to scheduling and photos and
So the
plans.
customers have a portal that keeps
Yes.
them up to speed on what's going on
So
with
we
their
have the
project all the time.
plans submitted over there, permits, and what's going on, and schedule, everything. So in that part, it's not expensive because your customers are getting a lot of value out of it, and they say, well, I'd rather deal with this company because if some things go wrong, hopefully, it's not very often, but I know if I grab the phone or if I send a message, I'm gonna get a return call or a message back, and so for me, it's more like an investment.
Yeah.
If you say it that way, yeah.
It builds a lot of confidence and trust. 'Cause
Yeah.
like every time I call, they answer. There's
Yeah.
always an answer. And if they don't have an answer, someone's on it right away. And get back to
Exactly. Or they know what's going on because people invest obviously in tools and a lot of stuff that is good, but the customer itself, he doesn't care if you have 3 vacuum lifters or 1. they care when they call. They want to get the
Yeah.
answer to that.
That's right. You said it allows you to figure out different ways to grow the business. What's an example of that?
Well, working with marketing companies and meeting people and just not be always in there, but more like finding ways what's working now, what hasn't worked, what I know social media is big now, so we are working on having a bigger presence on it. So that it takes time to meet people and figure that out, and also investment and money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're there all the time, which it's you have to start somewhere. Not that I always did this, but I know how to lay papers, and I did this for a long time. I'm Mason by trade, but I switched it because I obviously wanna find a way that it works better, and that was the way that works better. Investing and all that, and helps like you're not being out there. If I have a meeting today, I don't have to rush and change. I just go presentable, and for the hiring customers, they like to feel like they're dealing with somebody that's professional. So that's kind of, I mean, not that everybody has to do it that way, but that's the way
That's the way that's working for you.
working for us. So
Yeah. So I mean, we have Lily on the screen here too. Lily has a bit of a cough, so.
Yeah, she hasn't feeling well lately, so I'll let her pass this time.
You're taking all the tough questions now, but who handles what in the business? Because you're running it together.
Mm-hmm.
You explained a little bit how the office structure is set up, but who does what?
So I do all the designing and meeting of the customers and getting all the first impression on the first meeting consultation. And my wife Lily, she does all the estimating, and she helps running the office with Anita, which is my office manager. So consultation comes first, obviously through Anita, and then I'll go to the consultation meeting. I'll take care of the designing process, and I'll take care of the showing of the design and all the sales. Basically, is what I'll do. And whatever new developments on the company are based on me, she take care of. Make sure the office runs smoothly with Anita and the other girl, and also she does all the estimating, which is one of the things that I hate. Like I said, I'm a mason by trade. I know how to read a tape. I know how to do grades, a lot of other stuff. But if you sit me down with a spreadsheet, I cannot do it. So she's very good at it. So she's the one to take care of like sending the numbers out, following on receivables, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So.
My experience on the job site was she was involved in the design. So.
She is very involved in design.
Yeah.
And that's one of the parts that helped me a lot. Sometimes if it's outside, like outdoor, like we do, she let me alone do my own drawings and my own things. But she's very, very into it. She loves interior design, actually. But we work together. We make them out, and I help her sometimes also with whatever she needs to do in the office, and she helps me on the designing part, but she has a very good eye for it.
Yeah.
So I lean a lot on her, especially when I'm the one to go to the job sites, but I always bring pictures with me, and she's like, oh, this paper might be nice for that. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use it to make her happy first, and also to she have an eye for it.
Yeah.
So.
So Mason by trade, you started in masonry, you did that for a long time. What made you shift to hardscapes?
Specifically, I remember it was a job that I did for a friend of mine, and I fell in love with just doing the paper side of things. And it was years ago. I love the freedom. Like when I was a mason, I usually didn't have the chance to design anything, and I love that part. They just gave me a set of plans and just build this foundation, or just put this wall here, or just do this veneer stone on this. So it wasn't like very. I was proud of what I did, but it wasn't. I didn't have the freedom to do anything. So when I did this job for this friend of mine, he was like, I bought these papers, I got this backyard, let's do something. And so I went and started doing stuff I used to have like 2 guys back then, I think. So we were to start figuring it out. I didn't even have papers, never laid papers in my life before that. So I started working on it, and I really loved it. Then I started, getting more people asking me, and the masonry now is very integrated with the hardscaping industry. Like, most people assume that if you do hardscaping, you do masonry, and the other way around. I don't know why, but that's how it's been ruined lately. And when back then my wife wasn't working with me full time, she was like helping me here and there. And then I had a lot of masonry jobs, and I was really getting tired of it. And she's like, I want to come and help you out. I see you seem very stressed. And but let's do this. Let's concentrate and just design and build, and let's move this part of the masonry which wasn't really making much money, to doing the patios and doing this kind of stuff. And that's how I started. And I just I still get people calling me like, oh, can you do this foundation for me? Because that's when you do something, people get to know you for that. But right now we are more into design and build. That's what the change. I love it.
As the business has grown, just like you just said, you were at 2 people, now you've grown it to 2 full crews, you have 2 foremen. What's maybe the biggest lesson or the biggest challenge that you faced along the way that gave you a very valuable lesson that you apply now running the business?
I think it's very universal in the contracting world. Labor has been the biggest
Yeah.
the biggest part. Not that I'm dealing with shortage of labor or anything. I have the same guys literally for about 10 years.
So how do you achieve
And that's
that,
the
though?
thing. That when I started, when I was a mason, my company was very big too, and I came down. I have like 20 guys, and I came down to only 2 guys and me. And then when we start designing and build and doing hardscaping, then we get back to. But I didn't want to. I never really want to do something very huge, like having 30, 40, 50 people. I don't think I never really. I concentrate on getting bigger jobs, nicer jobs, but have a main core of guys that know how we work, and I know how they work. And so we try to keep them always like as part of our family. We treat them. We do like a monthly meeting. That's the main thing with your people. You have to treat them like how you would like to be treated. And that sounds like corny, and everybody says it, but it's right and it's correct because we experience it. So we treat these guys like they're part of my own family. So we celebrate their birthdays. We do a monthly meeting with them where we talk about where the business is going, where their life is going. We treat them in a way that and sometimes it's not even money what they really people are looking for. It's more like feel like they have a safe place that and they feel loved. So that's what we concentrate on, because I know that was the hardest or the hardest part to maintain a business like that. And that was the main lesson that I learned is take care of your people. Like make sure you're there for them, and also obviously that part of the people also mean your customers. So customer satisfaction and customer relationships. It's the same thing applies to the people that work with you. Mm-hmm. They're both the blood of the business. If you don't have customers, you don't have.
They have nothing
work
to do.
for them, for you guys. But if you guys are not doing a good job, you won't have good customers. So those are the main lessons. Treat people right. Just do the right thing.
Growing your hardscaping business in a competitive market is tough, but it's a lot easier when you have the right tools. That includes tools for managing your business, customer relationships, estimates, quotes, payments, and even personnel training. Thankfully, LMN is just that. With LMN's all-in-one platform, you'll streamline every part of your business, from CRM and scheduling to job costing and invoicing. And with Greenius, the #1 training software for landscapers now integrated, you can build high-performing teams and use measurable data to make real changes within your crews and organization. Join over 3,000 contractors who trust LMN to grow their businesses. Ready to make a change? Head over to golmn.com and start your free trial today.
The monthly meeting, I want to dive into that a little bit more. You said the business direction and kind of like their personal direction. So like, what are some of the things that give me examples of things that are typically discussed in those meetings?
Well, first my wife and I talk a little bit at the beginning. So, first we thank them for what they have done for the last month or whatever, or for the last project, and we show them pictures. But if you're working on a project, we're just showing pictures, also stuff that are not that good, we show.
Yeah.
So we start from there. Then also my wife likes to do a lot of stuff with them, like asking them, what are your goals, and have you achieved your goals, and what are, especially when this first meetings of the year, like this one and the next one, we have them write down or make drawings, and it's something they don't feel like everything is just pavers and stone and all of that kind of stuff. So she's very good on that, like asking them, what are your goals, what are you trying to achieve, why you work for us, how do you feel working for us, what we need to improve so it will be better for you next month or next year or whatever. And that's why we don't have that much of a shift
turnover.
That's the thing. That's the main reason of and also that's one part of it, and also keep these guys up to date and like safety or pavers or stuff like that. That we are all new jobs, like which are, oh, this is what we have coming up. And also we have also most of the time have the office meeting, talking with them, so they're
Yeah, so it's a
kinda
little
really-
recap of what's happened,
what's happening,
what's going
yeah.
well, what's not
Yeah.
going well, what do we need
Yeah,
to change.
and also like not only what's going on with, let's say, we have 3 jobs coming up, they're big, and but also what are you doing? Do what you. I know my guys, a lot of them play soccer. So how's your team doing? And what are you doing? Kids and grandkids, and my wife is very big and like have them. These guys write goals. Last year we write goals in a big shaped heart, and she have them on a big ball sticking in there, and so at the end of the year they're gonna flip and read and see how many of them they achieve.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds for some people that's stupid. Like I mean that's but it's worked for us. So we just
Is that how you felt at the start when?
sometimes I mean because
Yeah.
obviously we were not used to
Well,
that.
I'm just
I
gonna
know
build
that was the
stuff, like
direction I
something
wanted to
built,
go
yeah.
because I didn't like how I was. So I know that was the direction, but obviously it didn't feel for me natural.
Yeah.
Like I was like used to be with guys like laying bricks and paint lanes down and saying same things all day long.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to have a business, especially since I brought my wife in and we have actually girls working on the cruise itself, like the
Yeah,
installation
you have
cruise.
a lot of women.
I
that
think
work
yes, I think it softens the thing a little bit and it makes it more like familiar, more like like you want to be part of. Like it's not only
It's not just a job.
it's not just a job. They just go and lay pavers and you go home and then you're back to work. And then no, these guys they like to come to work and they show up, and you've been around them.
No, it was incredible. Honestly, we said be there for, I think it was 7 or 7:30 every morning. No one was ever late. They were there early. They were already getting to work. Like they weren't waiting to be told what to do. Like even the guy who showed up 10 minutes before everybody else, he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
They all work together. They're all talking together. At the end of the day, discussing, okay, what do we have to get for tomorrow? Okay, we need this, we need that. Make sure the office is getting that. Like they work as a unit, which is, I mean, it's really nice to see. And the other thing that I like, I mean, you're like this, but I think it carries itself down through the team. Like we were trying new tools, we were trying new techniques, we were building things they'd never built before.
Yeah.
You guys had never done a pool before.
We never done a pool. We never first the pool, which is a very challenge for us because we don't do that.
Yeah.
We do high end stuff, but we never involve the pool. Like you said, also the wall. We never really have that wall installed. We use a lot of masonry because obviously I'm a mason by trade, so I trust a lot on the masonry side of things. But we never really done those kind of walls before.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff, but they took it very well. I mean, I guess they did a very good job.
They were all open to everything.
Yeah.
But you could see like it's a positive attitude across the whole team. Sometimes we show up and like we're like, well, we should try this. We're going to use this tool. I don't want to use that tool. What? Well, I never worked with it before, so I'm good. And then you show them and like, this isn't any good.
Mm-hmm.
Your guys were like, they're trying it and they're struggling at first, but they're like, we're going to keep doing it because they're saying it's good. So we want to see that it's good.
Yeah, and we had those kind of people before, but and that's one of the reasons why they're not with us anymore.
Yeah.
And the people, the main people that we have right now, they all know what the company is all about. So that's what we need. I just need them, and that's it.
They have the right
Because they
attitude,
understand.
there's a cultural fit. Yeah.
So that's important. That's why you have to spend a little bit of time with them, like and it'll pay off. I mean, if you want to build a company like that, if you don't, it's fine. Everything. Everybody can have success. I mean, and
there's lots of ways to do it.
There's a lot of ways. I'm just telling the way that worked for us. And if you want to do it that way, if you treat your people right and make sure, like you said, they always have a good attitude because we don't never push them to do stuff that are out of their, but we always teach them. Like if there's something new and then there's a tool or something that we bought that I want them to use, then obviously in that monthly meeting, we'll be part of it. We'll be like, well, this is when we start using the app for the clock in and clock out and doing all that stuff. Obviously, some of them didn't even have email addresses because that works with an email address. So we have to open an email address. The first couple of weeks are like, this guy's not clocking in or it's not clocking out. It's clocking out at night like 9 p.m. and he's been home since like 6, so
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was a learning curve, but they were always like willing to do it because we, in the monthly meeting, we were like, but this is what we're gonna do, and also you have to explain and why it's beneficial. Like why it's beneficial for them to use it, why it's beneficial for us to know where they are, also why it's beneficial for them to put every day what's going on, because customers call and there's something, and then we can go back to that log and say, well, this guy and this guy were here doing this kind of thing that day, and they have this done, and this, we have something to get, to back it up, and we have to explain all that to them, and that's how they feel also comfortable with all the new stuff. It's not just do this because I want you to do it.
Yeah.
So.
I think people want to feel like they're part of something bigger, and when you're helping them understand how the action of, let's say, clocking in, clocking out, or the action of writing down what was done this day, how that benefits the whole team, and you're a part of the team, so we need you to do that part. When they understand and it's making their life easier, because at the end of the week it's easy for you to pay them.
Sure.
You know exactly what they did, where they were, when they were there. Like that's what gets that wheel of momentum going. And then the next thing you say, okay, well now we're gonna start doing this. Well, they buy into it because every time you bring something new, you explain to them why. They start doing it. It's working. Hey, how's it going? Okay, we're all on the same page. Good.
The why is important. It's very important why you do that, because a lot of people just like, this is the new tool we have. This is the new app that we're gonna use. But why are you using it? And they have to buy in, like you said. Otherwise, you're gonna always
you just be banging your head on the wall. Okay. Do you want to take some questions from the audience?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You guys have any questions? It could be about the project that you're seeing. It could be about how they run their business. Could be something else, what they're doing for marketing, how they're selling the jobs. Yeah. What software are you using for CRM?
We start using Builder Trend. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Builder Trend. It's more for builders, like for construction in general. But we found it very useful because there's a lot of stuff that are very similar to the hardscape in construction. Plus, also we do a lot of structures that involve subcontractors and construction itself, like carpentry, plumbing, and so it helps on that. Plus, in the future, we wanted to do other ventures that will include full building construction. So we don't want to change CRMs. So that's the one that we use. Mm-hmm.
There are other, if you're focused really just on hardscape or landscape construction and not having ambitions to get into general contracting, we do have two here. We have LMN and Synced Up that are good options too. Mm-hmm. They help with the budgeting, the estimating, the job costing, and the CRM component. But yeah, you got to pick the one that makes the most sense for your business. There's lots of options out there. Any other questions? Okay, I have a question.
All right.
So you said you're looking at getting to the custom homes and stuff somewhere down the road, but I brought it before. You had never done a pool before, and then we installed that plunge pool from Beto Pools, and we were laughing. Like, I guess you're in the pool business now because that was really easy.
Yeah. Well,
you want to expand a little bit on that? Like, what did you learn from that experience where you had never done pools before? And you hadn't done them because you hadn't done them, and you're like, well, I'm not going to risk doing it. I'm not going to learn on a job.
Yeah.
So what was that experience for you?
One of the main reasons that I don't do the pools in my area is because I have a good friend of mine that has a pool company, and it's a relationship thing, and he usually does my pools. But also, what I find out, or what I learned out of this, is that you having the right attitude, you can really do a lot of stuff that you think you're not capable of. Like my guys, we know how to use the excavators and all that, but my guys, we never install a pool. But it doesn't mean that you cannot do it, but you have to surround yourself with also good attitude people. They're like, well, if we're not done it, but we're going to figure it out, we'll do it. Like, I've never done it, but we'll do it. Like, I have my electrician, and can you do a pool for me? Well, let's figure it out. He actually called directly to Beto Pools to find stuff, like how to do this. He's resourceful. My plumber, everybody was in the same page, like, okay, well, how we do this? How we get it done? In the same way with everything. Like, when I started doing papers, I didn't know. So I have to find a way or find somebody but with the right attitude. I think that's the main thing that we learn. You can do a lot of stuff. That's why we do a lot of structures, pool houses, and that kind of stuff. So my wife and I have been talking for the last couple of years about it's the same process as doing full build, like construction.
This
So
is a small house.
yeah. It's usually smaller houses. It has everything that house is just smaller scale. So we planning and going that route in the future. We don't know when, but we're working on it. So it's also like, if you're willing to do it, the attitude is so important, because then you find people also that will help you out, and that's the main thing that we learn. Like, we don't know, but we'll just dig a hole and then just figure it out, and we did. So
Yeah, well, I think that, like there's three main takeaways for me from this discussion. One is focus on taking care of people, period. Whether they're your prospective customers, your existing customers, or the people that work for you, even your subcontractors. We saw that you have a great relationship with all of them. You call them, they show up right away. I don't know what the deal is, but they are good. So you take care of your people. You always have a positive attitude. Every problem we had, we're like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. And you have that growth mindset where, like, you can always learn new things. There's nothing that you can't learn. If someone else is doing it, that means I can do it too.
exactly.
And I think that's a good way to wrap up this episode with you, Cesar. I really want to thank you not only for joining us here, but like that was one of the most fun jobs we ever had.
Appreciate
You had
it.
a great team. You have great people. Obviously, the construction quality is there too, but just it was a lot of fun working with people and learning together and facing all those challenges together. So I have a lot of respect for you and for Lily and for your team. You guys are running an excellent company.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Same with you guys. It was a lot of fun having you guys around for those 2 weeks. I know it almost 3 weeks. It was fun, man. We love it. We always remember, and and my guys always ask, and they always remember it too. It was fun, so we appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys. Appreciate it.
Probably have to do it again in the future.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, guys. That's it for this week's episode of the Hardscape Growth Show. Until next time, work hard, pave harder, and we'll see you next week on the show. And if you guys haven't listened to the podcast before, you can check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, on hardscaper.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. And that's it for today. Thanks a lot. Okay, that's it.
You've been listening to Hardscape Growth, a podcast for hungry professionals who want to grow their businesses and level up. Each episode is all about taking the next step in running your business, so make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on your favorite podcast player. And if you're finding this information to be useful, help others in your position discover us by giving us a star rating and leaving a comment. We'll see you next week.